for us. There he is!
Hey!
Yay! Hooray! I'm sorry, I'm just such an idiot. It's ironic, really. We're promoting a director's course that involves technicalities, and I can't even do an Instagram live. Good job, I'm not teaching the course. Steve, how are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. I'm not too bad. Normally we have kind of specialists who can help us with this kind of stuff, don't we? We kind of where you can kind of stand there looking good, I stand there looking important. So yeah, it's we got there in the end.
It's so good to see you. First of all, thank you for agreeing to do this live. Thank you for agreeing to do the course. So I have a couple of questions that I thought, what would I want to know? Sure. And then I will let the people out there ask some stuff too. But the first thing is when, where, and how much. So when are we starting this course, Steve?
We're looking to start in the middle of October, which will be a kind of, I think we're looking at for like an 8 weeks. Are we kind of looking at, I've never done one of these courses before, but I've got lots of interesting things to share. So it's an experiment for me, but yeah, middle of October.
Fab. All right. So for anybody who's taken an interest in the Players Conservatory, pretty much all of our classes are the same. We charge about $250 a month for the acting course, the writing course, the director's course, all of those things, because we want to make it accessible and affordable to everybody. And it's all done via Zoom. So Steve's going to sort of be teaching the course via Zoom. Now, one of the questions that I think I would want to know as a wannabe, because I'm a wannabe director too, do I need to have any previous experience of, like, do I have to have been in television or film or anything like that? Or can I just be completely brand new and green to come take this course with you?
No, I mean, it's open to everybody really, every different kind of skill level, because like we all need to start somewhere. Whether you're just a film fan or TV drama fan and I've got a genuine interest in kind of pursuing this kind of career like long term, or you've got some experience, you maybe made some short films, maybe you're an actor, maybe you've worked on the other side of the camera. It's for everybody really. I mean, I've been working in the industry for 20 years. I've got a lot of stories to tell, a lot of insight, skills and things I can kind of pass on. And I also want to be here as a resource so people can ask the questions, not just what it's like to work with the brilliant Sean Maguire. He was brilliant, by the way, but also like, how long things take, what you need to tell a story, what do all these terms mean? What's it like working with a director of photography? What is a director of photography? So, we can break it down as simply as that, but also then hopefully over time, be able to develop people's skills. So yeah, we're going to cover a lot of ground.
All right, brilliant. And I don't know if we discussed this off camera, but what time will the course be? Because you're in the UK, I'm in Los Angeles, so we're sort of 8 hours in time difference apart. We said I think we're going to do this on a weekend. What time?
Yeah, I mean, ideally, yeah, because I mean, I'm working at the moment, Mondays to Fridays, so maybe a kind of Sunday evening would be good. I mean, whatever works best, really.
Because we've got people from Brazil and people in South America and everywhere, so probably Sunday evening in GMT. So if you're on the west coast of America, say that would be sort of in the morning. So it'll be 10 or 11 in the morning.
Yeah.
Early evening, 6 or 7 in. So basically it means everybody can kind of, I think that works for most time zones. So that's great. Now, to do a director's course, now when I'm teaching acting, obviously all I need is a script and I need actors, and I just finished a class. We had a great class and I was giving notes and thoughts about how to inhabit the character and all the rest of it. As a director, somebody out there watching might go, well, don't I need a whole crew? Don't I need actors? Don't I need a script? How are we going to do this? Who am I directing? How's that work?
Well, I think I mean, first, I think we'll sort of start slow. We'll walk before we can run. And what we'll do is we'll just talk about what a director does, what a working director like myself will do. It's important to know what the basics are. But I think over time, we'll probably get the students to go out and maybe shoot some stuff. And we'll talk about why you've told the story that way, why you've shot it that way. It can just be shot on your iPhone. I mean, over time, obviously, once you kind of get into the industry, you might be able to work with collaborators who can give you, be able to kind of bring you cameras and actors and that kind of stuff. But it's open to every kind of skill level, really, whether you just want to go out and shoot it with your friends or whether you've got access to equipment, and maybe we'll watch each other's stuff and give each other like honest feedback. I think it's really important to give honest, friendly feedback, because if I just say, yeah, you're all fantastic, you haven't really learned anything. And, I'm super nice and approachable, so no one will get a hard time. We've all got to start somewhere. I started making short films with no money, no budget. I never had any funding, and I just did it because I love it. And if you love it, then I think this course would be great for you.
That kind of, you just beat me to the punch there. I was going to say, you know, you can see from the fantastic posters behind you, you're a movie fan. But so you know, there's a lot of people out there. That's one of the reasons that I started the school. There's people out there that are really passionate about film and television, and whether it's from the writing perspective, the acting perspective, or the director's perspective. I was going to say, how did you go from being a fan to now being a multi-award winning director? How did that transition happen for you? Because like what I love about you is you are a self-confessed just regular guy from the north. You know, you're not from a privileged background. You don't come from some industry family. You're not a nepo baby, as the kids say. So how did you go from being a fan to being an award-winning director? How did that happen?
I mean, it takes time. Like I, grew up in the north of England. My dad was a factory worker. My mum worked in a shop. I didn't do the best in my GCSEs. My studying. I'm very middle on my kind of level of things, and that I would obsessively watch stuff and learn the dialogue and draw posters. And I'm sure, like people do, you love everything about the entertainment industry. So I would make films with my friends just by borrowing equipment. I mean, this is going back a long time ago. It's 20 years ago, where we would make things on, we borrow cameras, whereas these days you could shoot on an iPhone. And then I did a television production course where I learned how to to do things a bit more effectively and efficiently and professionally. But I learned more by making things myself. So I didn't walk out of that and get a job in the industry. I kept making short films with my friends. Most of them are rubbish, when we can be completely honest. I mean, a lot of them tended to be a lot of kind of fight scenes, and it was just like literally, what are the building blocks? How many shots do I need? How do I put this together? It's the mechanics of what I learned. And then in my day job, I was working at the BBC on an entertainment news show, which I was very lucky to be able to do that as an editor. And the head of BBC Drama came on the show as a guest, and I gave him a copy of one of the short films that I did, and I said I'd really like to do direct some television drama. And he watched it and said, "Yep, your stuff's great. I'll get you onto." There was a fantastic show that was a really good proving ground for directors and actors and everybody, called Doctors, here in the UK, which is sadly finished now. But I went up there and left my daytime job, and would a few times a year get to direct episodes of Doctors, and would edit in the meantime, because it's important to know that, like, it's a fantastic industry, but like, you're not going to be able to retire in your 20s, your 30s. It takes time to build up the skill base, and also to financially be able to kind of get by. I mean, it will take some time to be able to do this. But yeah, then I would direct some TV shows, and then slowly work my way into fantastic shows like Doctor Who and Midsummer Murders and Death in Paradise. And I've worked in every type of genre. I learned how to use visual effects. You work how to speak to actors, and that was all just by learning, but also watching like a million YouTube videos, which would be good to share with people on the course, because you can learn so much by asking questions. Like, there's no stupid questions you can ask. If there's anything you want to know what to do, and I can share videos of people, the stuff that I've learned. I mean, for me, the best, if you want to learn anything about directing, then speak to the master, Spielberg. If you want to look at how to direct a film, Raiders of the Lost Ark is a masterclass for direction, how scenes are shot and how efficient they are. And there's things that would be great to sort of talk about things. But like I said, look, we've got a whole kind of palette of things we can talk about over our time. We'll do some kind of active work together, but also I'm here as a resource to tell you the things that I've learned, and also to answer questions.
Somebody just asked a question, and I think it's a good one. How long? Well, I think we covered that the course is going to be 8 weeks, so it's sort of 2 months ish today for now, and then we'll see how it goes, and maybe we'll do another longer, whatever. But somebody asked, how long are the lessons? And now, for me personally, I say if I have a class of 10 people, it's often between an hour and 2 hours, depending on how many people is in the class. But what would it be for you? Like, how long do you think a typical lesson will be?
Yeah, I think that's about right. I mean, I think if we said roughly like 90 minutes, but if we went over by half an hour, if there was so much to say, because I mean, let's start with eight sessions, and then if we're all digging deep and it's going well, we might kind of run up till Christmas. We'll just see how it's going. I mean, I think it's good to be flexible, but there's so much to kind of talk about. I mean, I've been doing this, like I said, for 20 years, and the stuff you learn from good experiences and bad experiences, practical, half of your, I mean, something really important to know as well is half, it isn't just the creative side when you're a director, like half of your job is creative and the other half is practical. So it's about problem solving. How are you going to do this? How are you going to shoot it when you haven't got enough time? You've only got 10 minutes. How are you going to do all this stuff? How do you speak to actors when you're not quite gelling, or there's problems on set? How you get around things. There's problem solving. Like I've run several directors courses for the BBC, and things like we would give people a scene to shoot, and we don't give you quite enough time, so that to see how you can kind of figure out, still make it look good. And it's the people who are creative, and it's a lot of the time you have to kind of put all of your complicated ideas out the way and just tell the story. It's in the end of the day, you're telling a story. You want to have your own individual voice. You don't want to just going to copy other people. Yeah, I'm a Spielberg fan and inspired by lots of things that I see, but I've developed my own voice, and that's what we want directors to do, because that's what will make you stand out.
Somebody just said, I'm a 15-year-old. Can I join? I'm like 100%.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that you're 15. If you're 15 and you're getting started now, there's a lot of people up there. You might be 55, you might be 75, and go, maybe I'm too old. You're never too old, and you're never too young. And you touched on something there, like when we were both starting out in the last century. You needed a video camera. You needed all of these things. Now, this device that I don't know how to work is a one-stop shop movie studio. You've got your iPhone, which is a camera. It's got light. It's got sound. You can load that up to your computer. You can go on, what is it, iMovie,
yep,
on like an Apple.
iMovie's amazing. Yeah.
I mean, literally, we have the facilities now. Like you said, it's just now about two things I think are really important. Being a problem solver, and also having the story that you want to tell. I watch a lot of videos, and Tarantino has said in a number of interviews, what's the movie that hasn't been made that you want to see? What would you like? Everybody's got at least one story in them, I think. And the idea of, your students making something and putting something out there in the world is fantastic, and it gets me very excited. And also I was going to suggest, maybe there's people out there that want to direct, and they're like, but I don't really have a story. Well, we can help with that too. We've got a writers class. We could say, we'll challenge our writers to go give us a short script for a film, and maybe one can help the other. And at the Players Conservatory, we have a resource where we basically want to help everybody achieve their dream and stuff like that. The other questions that I wanted to ask were, so do I need equipment? No, we've got the iPhone, we've got the script. Is there anything else that you wanted to add, Steve, before I let everybody get back to their Sunday?
No, I mean, it'll be fun. I mean, that's what I want to say as well. It's not going to be this dry, kind of boring kind of lesson every week. I want it to be fun, and I want to hear about you guys as well. I want it to be a two-way conversation. Like I'm here as a resource, but also everyone's different. I'm. It doesn't matter what your skill level is. Like I said, I'm a working class guy. I never thought I'd ever get into this, but I'm still getting away with it 20 years later, and I've helped win a bunch of awards, and I've worked with really nice people, and I've got a nice life. And if I can do that, and I'm a very average person. You don't have to be this kind of wunderkind. Those people. There are some lucky people who will literally get to the front of the queue, but for the majority of us, it takes work, it takes a bit of time, it takes passion. It's important to be creative. It's important to know what you're doing, and it's also really important to be nice. I do get asked back onto a lot of projects because I'm a nice person. I do quizzes, I bake cakes. I want when we're shooting it to be the most positive atmosphere on set. I want people to sort of remember that time, and I'd like to kind of bring that to the class as well.
I think that's a really important part. I mean, there's lots of you and me out there, and we all want to work with nice people. I mean, most of us are really kind of living our dream by doing this job. And I find when I get on set, normally everybody's pretty great, but occasionally you get an actor who's moaning and complaining, and I'm like, don't forget, there's people out there who would give their right arm to be in a position. Enjoy it, be nice. We're here for a good time, not a long time, and being nice is its own reward. But I've also said, don't feel the obligation that you've got to go around shaking everybody's hand, winning everybody over. If you're a nice person, people know you're a nice person. Just conduct yourself with kindness and professionalism. I always tell everybody, being 15 minutes early is on time. Know your work. I mean, as a director, you cannot just sidle up and throw it. You've got to be prepared. And I think over the course that you're going to teach, just a lot of these fundamentals, but I think you really hit the nail on the head where this should be fun. We're pursuing a dream, you know. This isn't studying for your A-levels. This is going to be a fun course. Steve, I'm so excited you're doing this. Thank you so much. I've seen people saying, I'm excited, I'm a writer, I want to be a director, can we help with self-tapes? Yes, we can help with everything.
Yeah.
If you want, we didn't cover here today, guys, if you email the playersconservatory@gmail.com, I will answer any questions that you might have. And, you know, we'll, any questions that you guys have, just fire away at us and we'll let you know. We're going to start in mid-October-ish. We will let everybody know. If you want to put your name down, send us an email and we will put you on the list, and we'll get started. Steve, thank you so much.
Sure.
Thanks for doing this, doing the live, and I'm really excited to see what you guys all come up with.
Meet.
All right,
Let's make some films.
Yeah, all right. Thank you, movie fans out there. I can't wait to see your work. Lots of love. Have a great Sunday, everybody, and thanks for joining us.